Very common in the online environment and especially in the gaming industry is a distribution of revenue called Pareto distribution, which basically says that 80% of my revenue come from 20% of my customer. Basically says that out of 10 people, 2 people are gonna make the most revenue out of it. And these are going to be the people that are most valuable to me. So I'm going to have to focus in my marketing strategy to acquire those people because these are very important for me. I'm going to, make the profit for my company and my business. Since online advertising is mainly focused, as you might be familiar with, on CPA and therefore cost per acquisition, many people come to us and say, oh, we want to acquire user at the lowest possible price, at the lowest possible cost we can. But that doesn't mean that those are the most valuable users that you're going to acquire. This is because, as we were saying, it might happen that you have a marketing campaign, you acquire user at a very low price, and then you find out at the end of the campaign, when you already spent your marketing budget, that the people that are most valuable to you, those 2 out of 10 people, are going to cost you to acquire 50% more than the people you acquired so far, because you can't really monetize well with the people you acquired so far. But at that point, you've already spent your marketing budget, and you're not going to have the chance to acquire anymore. So when you go to venture capitalists to ask for more money for your idea, they're going to say, hey, I gave you money already. You have to show me the results now. So that's a very key important factor, and that should be at the beginning of your strategy, a business planning itself. So here we saw that you can basically have your marketing strategy built with the business strategy itself and therefore the weight it has on your whole business model. Now let's see how we can, what's the target of your marketing strategy itself. In very broad perspective, we can see that marketing strategies are aimed either for branding or for performance. In a branding approach, very easily, it could be like, for example, to create hype about the new launch of a new game or a new platform, or involve communities that are going to maybe fuel then the wide social or viral expansion that you're really careful about. On a performance approach, basically, it's what we were saying before. We have to acquire a person, a new user, with a given cost and drive purchase, therefore, either online or offline. Whatever your business model is, you'll see that a lot of things go through the online world. But we all know as well that we need a combination of the two, therefore branding and performance, in order to have a successful marketing strategy for your game. Let's deep further into the purchasing funnel, and let's see what's the role in online marketing, of course, of the display advertising and Google advertising. In the display, we also see the YouTube case afterwards, the YouTube peculiarity, let's say. The display advertising, let's start from that. It's often considered to have just an awareness kind of approach, but it also is very important from a purchase point of view. A recent study by IAB Europe has shown that the display advertising is 20 times more likely to drive online behavior than clicks can measure. So basically, you influence with display advertising 20 times more the user that just basically is looking at a click-through rate or the navigation funnels in your web analytics of your site. Many studies from both leading players in the market and research companies in the sector show that display advertising has obviously a lot of importance in branding, awareness, but also drive a lot the sales, both online and offline. And this is something really hard to explain to people that have been in any kind of industry for a long time. They don't understand that basically investing online in display, something that is not just purchase driven, it's going to bring you a purchase offline in your store. People see something online and go into your store. For us, it's very natural, but for many businesses, it's not. And display initially generates interest on the brand or the product, since consumer knowledge is based on a variety of touch points that you have online. And along to the purchasing funnel you are considering. So awareness, consideration, and intent to purchase finally. Search engines on the other side. Search engines are very, very important because a person that goes to a search engine is very focused on what he wants, his or her want, and would like to, find that product. A good search engine is gonna show you the most relevant result for that query you've done online. But it's just that, it's presence. Basically, CEO presence is basically be present for the thing you are most relevant. The name of your game, the name of your company, maybe the main feature of your game. Let's say I do a search on how to throw birds with a slingshot. Maybe I know what I'm gonna find there. But there is much more. You wanna have a marketing strategy, you wanna position yourself. And in order to position yourself, you need a SEM, search engine marketing strategy campaign going on. I was saying positioning is the key because let me make you an example. Like, for example, we are around Christmas time, and let's say my girlfriend wants to give me a present. She knows that I really like games, I like video games, and I like strategy games. But she doesn't know anything about video games. Or are you playing with that again? It's like, that's as deep as she goes. So basically, she wants to find the perfect game for me, the perfect present for me. And how she's going to do it? She's going to do it by doing query online or navigating online. But that query she's going to do is going to be very generic. It's so generic, like best strategy game 2010, PC, whatever. And I'm not going to position myself on a natural result with that query because it's very, very broad. So that's the reason why I need also a search engine marketing strategy, because I need to position myself in the market, not just be present in the market. That's a very key point, I'd say. It's easy to do in search engines and therefore keywords, the keywords that I want to show up with, and it's very straightforward. But it's also, now technologies allow us to be very specific on the target user we want to get, also in the display network, because we have these fantastic technologies that, like, for example, remarketing. Remarketing is something that allows me to bring my banners to a user that has been to my website but hasn't purchased yet, but it shows interest. So he's showing interest. He might be not very intended to purchase at that moment, maybe because he doesn't have the credit card with him at that point. And then I'm gonna remind him that my product was very good. He showed interest to it, and therefore he's gonna maybe purchase afterwards. We have interest category marketing. I'm a fan of strategy game. I don't like card games, and therefore I can go directly to me. Or frequency cap. Online advertising, you've seen banners all over the places, for example, and sometimes they become from useful to very annoying, spammy. So one thing is that you don't want that your marketing campaign becomes harmful for your brand. So you can say, oh, don't show my banner to the same person more than 3 times in the same day, the same week, the same year, I don't know, whatever you think is best for you. And advanced targeting and bidding. Say that, for example, people with a certain profile are more valuable to me, and therefore I can bid more for those people and spend more to acquire them, because average revenue per user, they're gonna bring me and my business more value. That in mind, you see that you have very specific, very targeted acquisition strategy and marketing campaign. You have different buckets of people that you want to acquire. You know what the average revenue per user is on any single bucket, and therefore you can set the CPA, cost per acquisition, that you want to have for that specific bucket. And that's very important because the difference here is that I don't just set a cost per acquisition that is standard. I can pay more than €5 for a new subscription, and that's it, because that's going to limit the market that I can acquire. I can set the right cost per acquisition, give it value that the person is going to give me, and therefore I can get all the people that are possible in my market. And this broadens my user base, and this makes my title, my video game, a blockbuster. Internationalization. When we talk about video games, it's very, in my opinion, it's very easy to internationalize, because basically, all right, there are cultural differences, but you can just localize the language, some feature of your game, and you can go wherever you want in the world. And obviously, you have to have a marketing strategy that follows that and allows you to go everywhere in the world. we are, from Google, we know that Google has a lot of coverage both on search and display all around the world. And so what the help they usually do at the companies and businesses that, relate to us and want to have an advertising campaign with us is that we give them that insight that you might not have. You might be a creative studio of 10 people based in Rome, let's say, and you don't have much knowledge of what the user behavior and how to place your product in the Chinese market, let's say. We help you out with that. We know we have a lot of insight, so we can help you out. And it's as easy as that. As soon as you found the right way to enter your market, the right value proposition based on either the user and the revenue per user that you fine-tuned in your local market, you can expand, replicating the proposition abroad with no problem, especially when you talk about online advertising. Flexibility, scalability, and then reach everywhere in the world. We were saying that display advertising influences the user behavior much more than clicks can measure, we were saying before. So what's the key metric we have to consider, as David was saying before? The key metric is engagement here. Because the click rates, just look at the ending part of the purchasing funnel we were considering before. Don't take into account the whole process that it takes you from knowing that the product exists to I want to buy it. And along the purchase funnel, any kind of company, any kind of video game industry has to grab the user attention and to create a preference in order to raise the intention to act. And depending on the publisher category where we want to go, you can reach customer at a different time in the purchasing funnel. For example, you can be in an entertainment site or in a gaming site and drive the customer to a purchase of your product, but many weeks before the products come to market. I really want to buy the new Batman Arkham City title, the video game that's going to roll out into the market just next year, but I already want to buy it, so I'm really engaged to that product specifically. As I was saying, the problem with click-oriented valuation approach is that it ignores the contribution of any previous ad, and therefore the effect that the ad is going to have on you and your target audience. And when we talk about engagement, its key factor is creativity. Creativity and the sky is the limit. These are just few of the advertising solution or the creativity that you can have. At Google, we have many kinds of creative ads to reach your user from classic text ads. You might have all seen flash interactive ads. You select what you want to do, and then you go to the website in the relevant part of the website. You have video ads, expandable video mobile ads. So mobile, for example, knows where I am, what I'm doing, and therefore I can be very engaged and expand with the video and look for a trailer of a video game. There are many things going on. But online positioning should be the result of an integrated strategy, as I was saying, that includes many formats, many placements, both from free placements as search engine for results or payment placements like online advertising. Shouldn't forget that nowadays the user engagement often translates into social and viral marketing. That is something that is very sensible to any kind of video gaming industry, video gaming company that is out there. To take full advantage of these elements, social, environment, and viral, we need a little bit more elaborate platform to allow you to make your target user fall in love with your product, basically. Let me show you what happens with YouTube advertising and together when it's combined with search advertising, with display advertising, it's all together. And this is the case. I'm going to show you a video of what we've done with a blockbuster video game that maybe you all know already.